Darling, forever I would trade it for your love, your joy forever. Darling, forever. Darling, forever I would, darling, forever. Darling, forever darling, forever I would trade it for your love, your joy forever. Switch. I would trade it for your love. Switch. I would trade it for your love. I would trade. I would trade it for your love, your joy forever. Darling, forever I would trade it for your love, your joy forever. I would trade. I would trade it for your love, your joy. I would trade.
Don't bow, don't fuck nobody. Aye, just in a Father God, I walk on your way happy. Aye, no sell your soul, fit change and in a bitch. Yes, yeah, man, I run in a one car, well flashy. Don't bow.
Sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone too long. Drop it. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And she's always gone too long. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. It's not warm when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. And she's always gone too long. Anytime she goes away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. She's always gone.
We don't need to get. We don't need to get. We don't need to get.
Like Make it don't break. Make it don't break. Make it don't break.
Stress and moan.
So, welcome back everyone to the third episode of the Fully Charged podcast. If you haven't checked out our last two, we've had Ryder Shafiq and DJ Gore. This month we've got DJ Bish.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. How are you?
It's all right. Thanks for having me, mate.
Lockdown been treating you well?
Yeah, you know, I just try to be as creative as possible. Just using the time as well as I can, really. Just want to get back to normal. I won't really have this time, so yeah, just try to be as creative as possible, really.
Blessing in disguise, really.
You just got to like make the most of it, really, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
so,
you
this is one of those things.
What type of what have you been working on then since the lockdown happened?
Yeah, just been working on a few tracks. Been doing like a lot of DJing, really. Because like that's like my bread and butter, really, like DJing. That's what I sort of excel in.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been like a lot of like blends, just getting it ready for the summer. But yeah, just working on a few tracks.
So, for the people who don't know who you are, do you want to just give everyone a quick introduction of yourself?
Yeah. Cool. My name's Jake. I'm a 28-year-old drum and bass producer and DJ from Bristol. And I represent Born on Rose, Guerrilla Tactics, and Rumble in the Jungle. I'm also a full-time tattoo artist, and I run my own tattoo shop called Urban Jungle. It's a private tattoo shop in Bristol.
Is that named Urban Jungle because of the love for your jungle music, or is that sort of completely different?
Yeah. So basically, with Urban Jungle, I wanted to sort of like tie it in with like the Bristol sort of drum and bass jungle scene as much as possible. I wanted to make it like the least tattoo shop possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's called Urban. Also as well, it's in a warehouse in the middle of nowhere, so that's where like the Urban Jungle, and like the whole decor is like completely like jungle decorated. So that's where like the name comes from. But yeah, it's always like drum and bass playing. We try and get as many drum and bass artists in the studio as possible. Most of the art on the walls are like from raves or like drum and bass like artists and stuff. So yeah, it's a very heavily drum and bass jungle inspired tattoo shop.
So growing up, did you always want to be a tattoo artist? And were you training to be a tattoo artist before you were a DJ, so say?
Yeah. The tattooing came first. I always wanted to be a tattoo artist. That was like right from the very start. I was always into art. I actually failed art in school, surprisingly. but yeah, no, my granddad bought me a tattoo kit for my 14th birthday. And I sort of just like practiced on like mates when I was like 14, like in school, just like practicing doing crappy tattoos and like mates' garage and stuff. So yeah, like being a tattoo artist was always like the main goal. And then like I said, I've been doing it since I was 14, so I've been doing it for a while now, and then just like slowly got into music. I always had like a bit of like a musical background before I got into DJing. I was in like a band, so I used to play drums. So yeah, I've always been like heavily influenced in music, and it's kind of just like crossed paths a little bit. And the music's taken over now, and yeah, I'm really enjoying where it's at the moment. It's nice jumping, going back and forth between like tattooing and DJing and stuff. It's just it's two good hobbies.
So you mentioned you were in a band. Was that sort of your first introduction into the music scene, or where?
Yeah, it was completely different genre. I was in like a rock indie band. So yeah, it's completely different to the music that I play now. But yeah, I was a drummer in like in a three-piece band, and yeah, that sort of died out when I got into drum and bass and jungle music and house and garage and just electronic music. But like,
so how old were you?
Growing up.
How old were you when you were in that band?
Yeah, this is when I was in secondary school. So I was probably like 13, 14, 15 sort of age.
Okay.
Yeah, that was that sort of era.
What age did it sort of fizzle out and then move over to like house, garage, drum and bass music? Yeah,
it fizzled out when I think when I was about 17, and I just moved to Bath, and I sort of like got like a whole new group of friends. And I tell you what, the main thing that actually sort of like converted me from sort of like rock music into dance music, it was when I watched Human Traffic. I watched Human Traffic for the first time, and I swear to God, that film
changed your life.
Me. And yeah, literally, man. And like, I watched that film, and straight after, I was like, just completely switched, converted.
So, yeah. And then
So what was your sort of first introduction to that sort of music? What did you pick up DJing then, or?
Yeah, I mean, like growing up, I was always like I always did like electronic music. Like Prodigy was like my main inspiration. I grew up listening to Prodigy, Pendulum, because my mum used to listen to them as well. So like, I always like that sort of like that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know really. I think like just going to raves at a young age, going to free parties, and all like that sort of stuff. That sort of just gave me like the drive to sort of become a DJ. I sort of just used to like watch all the DJs live and think, oh shit, man, I really want to do that. So yeah, I think going to like raves at like an early age, that was sort of like the drive.
And you said you moved from Bath or moved to Bath. Is that where you were born?
Yes, yeah, I was born in Bath, and then I left Bath and moved out into like the countryside in Somerset, and then I moved back to Bath, and then stayed there for a bit, and now I'm in Bristol.
So yeah. What was the like the free party scene or the rave scene like in Bath and Somerset when you were growing up?
Yeah, it was pretty big, man. Like I had quite a lot of friends that used to have like sound systems and stuff, so I used to be able to like get to like play like in the raves and all that. So yeah, there was like raves every weekend. But yeah, that was always like something to look forward to on the weekends. So it was quite a big scene. It still is quite a big scene, obviously not at the moment because of Corona. But yeah, like Bristol, sort of like Southwest area. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying Southwest is the best. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, it's a pretty big scene. It always has been. All of my mates basically come from like the free party scene. So yeah.
And then,
a lot to owe.
How old were you when you sort of picked up DJ and started DJing?
I picked up DJing when I was probably about 19. I first sort of learned how to DJ just using like virtual DJ. So like, I had that on my laptop for years, and I was just like fucking around like house parties and just recording mixes on virtual DJ. And then as soon as I got a pair of decks, because I spent so long using like that DJ like program, I sort of just like up pretty quickly. It almost like came naturally as soon as I got my first pair of decks. So yeah, that like virtual DJ definitely helped me.
Yeah, like if you can DJ on virtual DJ.
Yeah, I still use it now, man. Like, I mean, if I can't be asked to use my decks, I'll like. It's
just a handy bit of software, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm so familiar with it that it's just it's good to have there when I just can't be asked to go on my decks.
And then, were you producing at this point, or?
No, man. I properly started producing. Like, I've been taking it seriously for like the last year. However, I've had Ableton for about 4 years. So I've like dabbled in and out.
Yeah.
But I was mainly using it to make like sort of like DJ edits, like mashups, like intros. So that was what I was using Ableton for before I started like heavily getting into production. So yeah.
So going back to when you were 19, you've picked up started DJing. What was the start of your career then, and what were you doing? What were you doing to get your name out? Yeah, that was. I was playing like a lot of sort of like 140, so like a lot of like house music, garage, bassline. That was like the genre that I was like quite into back then. And I just used to like just record loads of mixes and just put them on SoundCloud. Yeah. And just constantly just uploading mixes to SoundCloud. That was sort of how I sort of got a bit of a name for myself. So I wasn't really playing out that much. The only time I was playing out was at free parties. But yeah, like just recording mixes and banging on SoundCloud like every month or so. That was sort of like how I sort of like got my foot into the scene. But yeah, that was all like 140 stuff, like Jack in House, trance, all sorts really, grime, techno. And did you get that sort of music
like 140, I never
from the free party scene? Is that where you influenced?
Yeah, because. Yeah, it was mainly like the sort of like the morning time music that I used to like enjoy. So that was sort of what I used to go for. But yeah, it wasn't really like commercial sort of like house. It was more like the free party sort of house. It was when I started putting drum and bass towards the end of my sets, because like I said, I never used to like stick to like one genre.
No,
always used to play like a bit of like drum and bass towards the end of the sets. And it was just like just seeing the reactions that drum and bass like that did to the crowds, and that I'd seeing that made me just like put more and more drum and bass in my sets, and then it slowly just developed doing like drum and bass 100% basically.
Do you miss doing sort of the multi-genre sets at all, or?
I do a little bit, yeah, because they're just like, yeah, they're quite fun to do, but I don't know, drum and bass is where my heart lies, so I don't miss it too much. But I would definitely still play like odd set here and there. If I've got like a few sets at like a festival or something, I might consider doing like a random sort of 140 set. But yeah, I miss it a little bit, but not too much.
And then, so you've been DJing for a bit now. What was sort of your first breakthrough in the D&B scene? First major progression point?
I'd say my first sort of breakthrough when I started getting a bit more known for drum and bass was when I won the Bolter competition. I entered like a competition to play at Bolter.
Yeah.
It was 100% drum and bass mix, and yeah, I won that, and that sort of like, yeah, put my foot in the scene with like in the drum and bass scene.
Had you been doing 100% drum and bass at that point, or were you still doing?
I was playing drum and bass for about a year before I sort of, maybe like a year or two before I entered that competition.
Okay.
So I already had like a bit of a following from like the 140 scene, who also like quite a lot of like drum and bass as well. So it's sort of just like my sort of fan base sort of merged together from that. Really.
Followed with you, yeah.
But yeah, Bolter was definitely. Yeah, Bolter was definitely like the main thing that sort of got me a bit more known in the scene.
Was that your first festival booking almost?
No, because I'm good mates with Henry from Guerrilla Tactics. He always had the wrong side of the track stage at Boomtown.
Okay.
So luckily I've always been able to play on the wrong side of the track since the very start. So yeah, my first proper like festival bookings was Boomtown, like early days Boomtown.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Guerrilla Tactics, and that was going to be one of my questions later on. So yeah, so I'm guessing you've just said you're friends with them. How did you get involved with them?
So yeah, like Lucas and Henry, they're like sort of childhood mates of mine. So Lucas, I actually went to primary school and secondary school with.
Okay.
And Henry, I went to secondary school with, and I was like really, really good mates with him throughout secondary school. So yeah, it's I've always been mates with them, and yeah, it's just sort of just found the place really, just from being mates. They used to put on like loads of events on in Bath, like called before they were Guerrilla Tactics, they used to put on like a festival called Boom Festival. So I used to help out with that. Sometimes I used to play at that festival. So yeah, it's sort of just like staying in contact, staying friends, and it's sort of just linked from now basically. Yeah.
And then what was it like sort of getting booked for Boomtown for the first time?
It's quite overwhelming really, because I wasn't really much of a big DJ back then. I was
far into your sort of career at this point, were you?
This was very early. This is like early days. This is definitely when I was just playing 100% sort of 140 music.
Okay.
Yeah, it was overwhelming. I can remember being really, really nervous. I can remember literally not even drinking anything that day while I was playing, just because I wanted to be like 100% sober. I wanted to be like completely on the board, didn't want to clang it. And this is before like I was using record box, so I was like had to like properly
actually have to mix properly. Yeah.
It was quite nerve wracking. I was this is before I had decks as well, so I wasn't really like familiar with like the DJ setup. But it was wicked to play. It was really good just to like actually play my first festival at Boomtown. Because yeah, like Boomtown's always been like one of the best festivals for me.
For sure, yeah. And then have you been playing there year on year with them?
Yeah. Literally, I played there every year since basically. Yeah, it was mainly on the wrong side of the tracks, and then my other gig after the wrong side of tracks was with the 24-hour Garage Girls.
Yeah.
So I did 2 years playing for them, and then yeah, basically just grew from there. Really, I did a couple of sets on the Dubtendo stage, and then as the years gone on, just got more and more gigs on different stages. Yeah, always the wrong side of the tracks was like my main sort of set that I'd look forward to the most during the festival.
So how did you get involved with 24-hour Garage Girls?
Yeah, I mean, I used to sort of just hit up loads of different promoters and just sort of just message as many promoters as possible. So I hit up Roche, sent her one of my mixtapes. She liked it, and yeah, she booked me for a Lakota night. And then I think after that we just sort of stayed in contact, and just booked me for a couple of sets at Boomtown and then a couple other events after that. But then that was when I sort of like transitioned from 140 to drum bass. So
are you still in contact with 24-hour Garage Girls for like that side of music?
Yeah. I mean, like I'm still friends with them all. I mean, I still see them. I'm good mates with like most of the Garage Girls. My girlfriend tattoos Josh in our studio. So yeah, I'm still like in contact with her. But yeah, I don't usually play for them anymore. It's been a while since I last played for them. In fact, I actually went on my Snapchat history the other day. I think it was like 4 years ago the other day when I last played for them. So yeah, 4 years ago.
So let's talk about Born on the Road, because that's quite a big brand to be working with. How did you get involved?
Yeah.
How did you first get spotted by them?
Yeah, so I've always been I've been mates with Calvin for quite a long time. I actually got introduced to Calvin through my mate Gardner. Yeah. And this was quite a long time ago. So I've always sort of just like been mates with Calvin. And then Aries, I don't know, I was just like a big fanboy of Aries back in the day. So it's like, that's how I sort of like, that's how I know Aries, just from being in the scene, like just being at the raves and just like chatting to him and stuff. So that was like how like the first sort of links got made there. But then I think just playing at like the same sort of events and just like networking with them, and just it just sort of just like happened naturally, really. But yeah, I'm pretty happy to be on Born on Road. It's a label that I've been following for years. It's like one of my favorite labels. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to be on there.
How long ago did you get signed on to them?
So I got the call from Calvin around a year ago, saying that he wanted to take me on board. So it's been about a year now.
And then have you got anything planned with them, sort of coming onto the year, if you can say anything?
Yeah, I mean, we got got quite a few sort of like Born on Road tours and gigs to look forward to this year and next year. And I'm just sort of just like planning my EP, my Born on Road EP. Haven't got a date for it just yet. Can imagine it'd be either end of this year or next year, probably more like next year. But yeah, that's what I'm working towards, really, just trying to get my EP done. Just trying to make it as good as possible. But yeah, that's the main thing, really.
And then moving on to your production side then, you mentioned you started producing properly a year ago, but had Ableton for 5 years or so. How come, what sort of transitioned you to wanted to push yourself into production, and how come you didn't start producing earlier?
It's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to make my own tunes, but I've always found it really tricky, like just getting my head around Ableton. It's super hard, man. It's really, I just think it was a bit daunting, really, just trying to like take it all in and just learn the whole like process of it. But yeah, I think like to get to where I want to really be, you really have to be making bangers.
Sure.
So I've basically just like dedicated all my time now to it. I've realised that, and just try to spend as much time as I can just in the studio and just grasp as much as possible from it and just learn as much as I can, really. But yeah, like before it was just mainly just to make like set edits and like sort of just intros and stuff. So I wasn't really like properly like trying to learn. It was just like using it just for my DJ sets, really.
Yeah, what type of inspirations do you have when you're making your music? Where do you get your inspirations from?
Where do I get my inspiration from? It's usually just like listening to other tunes that I like. I mean, I listen to like quite a lot of mixes, and just hearing the song that I like, I would like go and try and reference it and just try and make something similar to it. I usually get quite a lot of inspiration after festivals. That's like, especially with DJing, like the first thing I want to do after a festival is just come home and just like DJ or like make a mix or something. So that's what I get a lot of inspiration from there. But yeah, it's just mainly just listening to music, just seeing some like my favorite DJs. That's it really. Also my friends, I get a lot of inspiration from my friends. You know what I mean, like most of my friends are producers, they're all like killing it. So just seeing them just doing really well just inspires me. So yeah.
And then so far since you've been producing, what's sort of been your favorite project you've worked on?
Definitely Rude Boy. This Rude Boy with Grey, that was my favorite project. Just because obviously like Gardner's like one of my best mates, so it just means a lot just to remix that tune, because that's like one of his biggest tunes as well. And it's just a tune that everyone loves. Really. How did it feel seeing the reaction it got when you released it? Yeah, I was pretty overwhelmed, really happy with the reaction. So yeah, like I said, it means a lot to get that reaction from it. So it was like one of like the first sort of things that I actually got released of mine as well. I wasn't actually releasing music. That was one of the first tunes that actually got released. So yeah, also to do it with Grey as well was really good. Like he makes it great for quite some time now. So yeah, it was a good project. Definitely recall. I also enjoyed Tokyo as well. Tokyo was good. Yeah, that's another one I've got here. How did that feel when you got the reaction from that one as well? It got #1 as well, didn't it? Yeah, I mean, that did really well. That was definitely like the biggest thing that I've put out. This obviously being on D&B All Stars as well. That definitely gave it that extra push. But yeah, I remember like the first day that I actually played it out, it got like a really good reaction. And then I uploaded it onto Instagram, and then like I had loads of people asking for like the ID and all that sort of stuff, and just asking me for it. So I sort of knew from then it was going to do pretty well. But yeah, it definitely sort of done better than what I thought it was going to do, which is good. But yeah, I definitely enjoyed working on Tokyo. That was a good little project. And then, so when you're creating a track, what's sort of your creative process? So. Yeah, I mean, I use a lot of samples, so I get like quite a lot of inspiration for samples, and then I also as well I'll have like the last track that I worked on. I'll use that as a template, take out the bass, and then sort of just like write a track around the last track that I wrote, if that makes sense. Yeah. So that really helps my inspiration. Also, I like working with like familiar sort of songs and stuff. I've done quite a lot of bootlegs because I find it easier just working with like tunes that are familiar. That's got like something there like I work from. But yeah, I'm trying to just like do as much original work as I can now because I've done like loads of bootlegs. So yeah, as much original work as possible. What should we be expecting from you coming into this year? Production, sorry. Production-wise, got a release coming out with Mandy Dextrous on Ram Records, which I'm super happy about. Yeah, it's a hard tech tune and like a drum and bass tune sort of combined, like a hybrid. But yeah, that's coming out on Ram Records, which like for me is just like it's mental because Ram Records for me is my personal favorite. Yeah. That's the one for me. I've always, like Ram Records has always been the one for me. So, so to have a tune out on Ram Records in like the first year is it means a lot to me. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to, and to working with Mandy as well. Mandy's like she's a wicked artist. So yeah, it was really good working with her on that. And then DJ wise, what should we be expecting from you this year? Yeah, I mean, just like that's like one of the things I'm looking forward to the most really this year. It's just like just playing out my new blends that I've been working on, building up over lockdown. I've done like so many live streams now. Yeah. I've just got like a massive back catalogue of just like loads of different doubles and loads of blends. I'm just ready just to like play out live now. And, like yeah, that's like I said, DJing's my bread and butter. That's where my heart lies. So just getting out and just playing live sets. That's what I'm really looking forward to. What was like the live stream like when COVID hit? Obviously, live streams were the new big thing. What was it sort of like for you? Obviously, being a DJ, playing out free parties, regular sets, to all of a sudden having to stream from your bedroom to a virtual crowd almost. Yeah, I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's fun, but it's nothing like playing live. But it's the only thing that you can really do now to stay relevant, really. So, but yeah, when they first started, it was good. It was good fun. Obviously, it's been going on for like a year now, and there's been so many. So like, you kind of need to kind of improve each live stream. Yeah, you need to, each live stream you need to do needs to be better than the last for it to like sort of stay relevant. Which is good though, because like it means like the production on the streams now is getting better. I've just recently done one with Runtings.
Yeah, and they've all got their full rig systems and stuff.
Yeah, it looks really, yeah. That was they had like Break and Ninja, me and TBM with Nuclear MC. That was a really good live stream. I really enjoyed that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really doing many from home anymore. I'm just doing like the ones where there's like some like good production. Like,
yeah.
You don't want to oversaturate it. I mean,
everyone's streaming from their bedroom now, so you've got to do something like you said to stand out and actually draw viewers. No one wants to watch the same streamer in the same bedroom. Your production, who's been the best person you've worked with, and then if you could work with anyone, who would it be?
I mean, like Gray is definitely like the best person I've worked with. He is like such a good producer. I've learned a lot from him. So yeah, working with Gray is probably my favorite. But like my dream collab, it's hard to say, man. Like I take a lot of inspiration from Spy. Like I every track that Spy makes, I love. So Spy, Chasing Status. Yeah. Like I like all like the sort of like dance floor producers like Friction, Prototypes, Dimension, Subfocus, just all them sort of artists really. So yeah, dream collab would probably be Spy. Yeah.
Cool. And then will we be seeing any sort of dance floor tunes from you in the future?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's the sound that I really want to sort of like go towards. I'm still trying to find my sound at the moment. Like I said, it's a journey production, so
it's a long process.
It's a very, very, very long process. I'm just trying to like enjoy the process as much as possible. But yeah, like trying to find my sound at the moment. But definitely, like the sound I'll be working towards will be dancefloor, like more heavier sort of like dancefloor drum bass.
Perfect. And then, if you could tell the audience one thing you wish you knew when you sort of started your career, what would you tell them?
Would be variety and song selection. Don't stick to one sort of genre throughout your set. Variety is the spice of life when it comes to your DJ sets. Nobody wants to hear an hour-long set of the same genre, so take like really go to town with your song selection and like sort of just like constructing a DJ set. It's a bit like art form, innit, really. So just like to spend your time when like if you've got a gig, spend your time the week before like sort of like constructing your set and like just like try to make sure it flows properly. I very, very rarely just turn up to a set and just wing the set. I always know what I'm playing. So yeah, just prepare for your sets, because it does make a difference.
I need to take that tip.
So yeah, that'll be the DJ tip. Yeah. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like winging it is like it's fun, it's good, but like if you want to like stand out and you want to like land those big doubles of work, preparation is key.
And then for producers, from what you've learned so far, what would you wish you knew sort of a year and a bit ago?
I wish that I sacked off social media a long time ago. Because for me it's such a big distraction, and I kind of wish that I just didn't really get heavily into it, and I sort of just all those years that I spent scrolling, I wish I was just either like watching YouTube tutorials or just in the studio. So that'll be my tip to like sort of young like producers, is just spend less time on social media, and just the time that you are spending on your phone, just watch like YouTube videos and tutorials. There's so many out there. You can pretty much learn anything on YouTube now. So, are
you completely self-taught production wise?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned from mates and stuff, and like I've had like quite a few like one-to-ones from people. But yeah, I mean, like it's just grabbing what you can from like different collabs and different artists that you're in the studio with. But like
picking up what they do.
mainly self-tool and like YouTube. I don't know, I've like pretty much just learned
everything you need to know is on YouTube. It's crazy.
Yeah, literally is, man. Literally is.
Spending hours just watching a video, skipping through to find the bit you need, but it's all there.
Yeah.
It's all there.
Yeah. There's so many good like YouTube channels on like production as well. Like Stranger's really good. I learned
Stranger's sound design, perfect.
Like D&B Academy, they're really good at the moment. They're doing like daily uploads. Everything you need to know is on YouTube.
Perfect. Yeah, that would be the end of this month's podcast. Thank you for coming down. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers.